Welcome back to the Jefferson College Spotlight. I'm your host, Roger Barentine. Well, one of the exciting developments happening here at Jefferson College, as we talked about over the last several weeks, is the start of some brand new healthcare programs. And it's a pleasure for me this afternoon to have as my guest Jefferson College's Occupational Therapy Assistant Program Director, Lisa Martin. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight.
Thank you. Very glad to be here.
As you, of course, have been really nuts and bolts involved in the creation of this new program, an Occupational Therapy Assistant, I guess a starting point for me and probably others who are watching the show today are wondering, what does the field of Occupational Therapy Assistant and Occupational Therapy encompass? And more specifically, what is it like to work in the field as an Occupational Therapy Assistant?
Well, occupational therapy is a very broad field. Occupational therapy assistants will work under the supervision of an occupational therapist, helping people that have all kinds of different disabilities, physical, emotional, social, or other, basically attain their maximum level of independence so that they can keep doing the daily living skills that they need to do. It's very rewarding to help other people, and it's across the lifespan. So students will be able to make a choice as to whether they want to work with kids or older adults, but they'll be out there helping people get back to life.
And where do we generally find an occupational therapy assistant employed? Is it generally just hospitals or other areas?
There are all kinds of areas for occupational therapy, and that is what's so wonderful about it. You may find yourself working in a First Steps program where you're treating babies and children before they get to the school age, or possibly in a school setting. Occupational therapists and occupational therapy assistants work in hospitals. We also work in skilled nursing facilities. There are all kinds of other areas. There are low vision experts that are occupational therapists. Some of them work in people's homes. Once someone has been injured or have an illness, they can make their home or their workplace adapted to their needs. So there are many, many areas that occupational therapy assistants will be necessary.
As you mentioned that, and I'm surprised, there's so many different ways, I guess, that an individual could take their skills and training in terms of the occupational therapy assistant. How does the creation of a program like this, being so new at Jefferson College, fit into the need for trained professionals, not only in the immediate term, but really as we hear so much about the need in the future for trained healthcare professionals? How does that fit into the need both in our own community, but as well as the region itself?
Well, Governor Nixon charged Jefferson College with filling the employment gap in our region, in Missouri, and healthcare is one of those areas. Jefferson College is strategically placed in a rural location, and the need is very large in these rural locations. And I believe that the program is going to basically supply quality healthcare providers to meet the need in our region and in our communities.
You've been on the job for quite some time. I know you've had your hands full putting classes together, making sure the program is in the process of becoming accredited. For the individual that looks at the OTA curriculum, what are some of the kinds of classes that you'll see in terms of that progression that a student will take?
Well, it's very exciting because the underlying support of being an occupational therapist is getting all of those science and some math courses, but also psychology. So there are going to be anatomy and physiology, there'll be things like biomechanics, but also students are going to learn things about theory and occupational therapy. They're going to learn how to take someone that has a disability, illness, or injury and implement activities so that they can live their life and do their daily skills. They'll also be trained as professionals and to be able to get out there and find a position and maintain that position and work as a professional in the healthcare field.
Great. So really a wide range of things encompassing that path from start to
Absolutely,
finish.
absolutely.
How long will it take most individuals, since the college's program is new? It starts, I think, in January 2012. How long will a person look in terms of completing their degree? And then what is the typical salary range for someone in the OTA field?
Well, it's a 2-year program after you finish your prerequisites. Essentially, I think the statistics out there are showing somewhere in the range of about $45,000 a year is the mean for Missouri right now.
That's
However,
great. For a 2-year degree.
it is.
That's really good.
It's fabulous. And, you know, in our rural communities, it's much more important because we're lacking the staffing for our hospitals and our facilities. That's why there's all kinds of part-time opportunities right now, jobs out there. Some of them would be on an as-needed basis, and I'm here to say that some of those individuals will be able to make as much as $45 an hour working on an as-needed basis. So
I'm definitely in the wrong field, I can tell.
the jobs are out there, and there's a need, and we're planning on filling it.
Along with that, as you consider the costs, and I know so many students these days are cost conscious about spending their tuition dollars, where will Jefferson College's program come in when they're looking at cost of other programs, not only in the St. Louis area, but we see similar type programs advertised on TV all the time. Where will the competition come in with Jefferson?
Well, we're a community type of college. There is funding to help these programs get up and rolling, but Jefferson College is really affordable. And when you look at it from the standpoint of other schools with higher tuition, really the return on investment for Jefferson College students will be much greater. They'll be getting out and getting the same pay as other students would be, yet their student loans will be far less. So they won't be digging out of a large hole. They'll be starting from a lesser standpoint to pay back their loans.
And that's so important in this day and age when we're all scrapping for trying to find means to make ends meet. And as I said, consumers, students have become very savvy in terms of shopping, not only from a quality perspective, but certainly from a cost perspective.
Very much so.
How does someone who is watching us today or is interested in the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program learn more about the prerequisites and other kinds of entry requirements that you mentioned here today?
Right. Well, they can call the advising office here and speak with Kim Flora or Stacy Wilson. Also, we have a page up on the Jefferson College website that they can go to. That way they can link to other important information, they can learn more about the field, and they can find out all the contact information that they need.
Well, hey, I appreciate your time this afternoon. You've done a lot of work, I know, preparing this new exciting program, and it is neat to be able to watch the college do something new, to be able to watch these opportunities, and to be a little bit selfish, I guess. It's interesting as you watch those career numbers, salary numbers, they're very impressive.
They are. They are.
Thanks for your time this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, some information about one of the Jefferson College's new health career programs, this particular one, an occupational therapy assistant.
There's a place I've discovered, a place that's challenging.
With 4 associate degree programs and 20 certificate programs.
A place that's accessible with 4 locations plus an online campus.
A place that's student-centered, where I receive the education I deserve.
A place that's affordable, where I can save thousands of dollars.
There's a place to discover your future.
That place is here, Jefferson College.
And welcome back to the Jefferson College Spotlight. I'm your host, Roger Barentine. And as we've been talking over the last several weeks, Jefferson College has some exciting new healthcare programs. And my guest today is the director of one of those new programs. It's the college's Respiratory Therapy program. And my guest is the director, Norma Cooper. Hi, Norma. Welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight.
Hi, Roger. Nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, for those who don't know, and I would be counted among those in this group, what does respiratory therapists do, and particularly, where do we find them employed in our community?
Good question. We as respiratory therapists are cardiopulmonary specialists. In other words, we work in the breathing, the lungs, the heart area, and we mostly work in the hospital, in the ICUs, the ERs, giving breathing treatments out to patients on the floors, and generally taking care of everything that's needed. An exciting new area that we cover also is pulmonary diagnostics, where we do like pulmonary function testing. We do home care a lot of times, where we go into the homes and help educate patients and their families to take care of their loved ones at home. And it's really great to actually get to see the patients go home and live a full and fulfilling life.
Now, as I mentioned at the top of our show today, this is just one of several new programs that the college is in the midst of instituting. How does respiratory therapy differ from what we've talked about in recent weeks with Lisa Martin regarding occupational therapy assistant or even physical therapy for that matter?
Well, we work under direct physician care. In other words, we take our orders straight from a physician. We don't work under anybody else besides them. We work in a hospital, and we're kind of independent in that the doctor tells us what to do, and we go take care of it. We give feedback to him and let him know how his patients are doing and where there might be some changes we would recommend. What else was the question?
Well, how they differ in terms of those programs, similarities as well as differences.
We also participate a lot of times in emergency codes, going to the ER. We actually do some intubations in some of the hospitals, and we do art line insertions, things like that. So we do a lot of different kind of things.
With this being a new program, Norma, I know the level of excitement in the students is very high, particularly because, number one, they're the first class to do it. But beyond that, everything that they do is absolutely new, including the kinds of instruction, the facilities and such. Talk a little bit about the kinds of in-class and particularly hands-on instruction that students will receive as part of this brand new program.
Good question. We are really proud of our classroom, the new design in the classrooms. We have things called audience response systems, which is participant for the students to actually give us immediate feedback at that time so we know where the students stand and what information they need more reinforcement on. We use a lot of different web-based type technology as well. And in addition, we actually have clinical simulation labs where the students go in and they have a 3G mannequin type thing where they actually participate, and we'll give them different patient scenarios where they learn how to react in certain situations appropriately, and then from there they can build on that and go into the hospital, the clinical setting, and work with real patients. So we're not just throwing them out to, find out what they can do on their own. We lead them step by step, hand in hand, all the way through.
And so literally, this is state-of-the-art training.
State-of-the-art
You talked
technology.
about computer training, some mannequins, real-life testing.
life.
So really a little bit of it all here.
Absolutely. Real life situations, and we throw everything at them before they ever go out in the field and see it in a real patient.
And all of the majority of the classes are going to be based on the Hillsborough campus,
Yes,
correct?
absolutely. We have brand new classrooms, brand new everything at the Hillsborough campus.
When an individual looks at a program like this, oftentimes we have students who have family responsibilities or current job responsibilities with a program like respiratory therapy. Is this something you can do part-time, or do you really need to be more of a full-time student?
Right now, we have classes that are only full-time for full-time students. We try and work with students as much as we can. We understand that, and we have a lot of tips and things that we can give the students to survive going through the college situation. But it's not really something that we recommend for students that want to work a full-time job. Respiratory is kind of intense. We have patients' lives in our hands, so we want to make sure they get the full, complete gamut of everything they're going to need. So it's a full-time course load, and we recommend maybe 16 to 19 hours of working outside the home as the maximum.
And will students normally go Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday? What kind of week-long schedule will they be involved with?
Well, class time will actually be like Monday, Wednesday, Friday type situation, but on the opposite days, Tuesday, Thursdays, or even we actually have some clinical time in the evenings and weekends that we're setting up for the students. So they can't expect to go all the time, evenings, nights, during the day. They're going to have to be able to adjust to that. Unfortunately, we can't just be a Monday through Friday thing, because in the hospital, respiratory therapists are 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And speaking of that, I know you've been working very hard to not only put the program together, going through its accreditation, which it is now. What are some of those kinds of specific courses that a student would pursue as part of the respiratory therapy program?
Well, before they come into the program, they are going to have things like microbiology, anatomy and physiology. But once they get into the program, we'll be teaching them everything from pharmacology, administration of drugs, how to use our high-tech equipment that we have, ventilators, things like that, where they actually do life support. So they need to learn how to actually work all that equipment.
And for the student that is successful, makes it through that program, gets that degree and diploma, what kind of not only academic credentials will they have, but what kinds of professional licensure will they be enabled to pursue?
Once they graduate from the program, they'll have an Associate of Applied Science degree, but it doesn't stop there. To actually work in the field as a respiratory therapist, you have to actually take a National Board for Respiratory Care national exam. The first test that they'll take is what they call the entry-level exam. It's a certified respiratory therapist, and our students will hopefully be able to pass that their first time through and be able to make a state application to start practicing in the field of respiratory therapy, and then they can start working. But in addition, our students are also going to be eligible to sit for what they call the registry exam, and it's a two-part exam, and it's a written and a clinical simulation. We talked about clinical sims in our classroom, so we're actually preparing our students to take that exam.
Oh, terrific.
Yes, and it's great because once they pass that, the registry exam, they'll have a higher earning potential, and in today's market, earning is everything.
Sure. And along with that, I suppose there's some type of an associate degree associated with that program as well.
Oh,
correct?
absolutely. It's an Associate of Applied Science degree.
Great. As one looks at these kinds of things, and it may be a sad commentary, but it's a matter of fact with the times we live in. Students have become so acute in terms of being able to compare the cost of programs all throughout the area. We see programs not only in the St. Louis region, but really all across the United States, even many that are advertised on TV. How will Jefferson College's program compare in terms of cost to some of those other schools?
Jefferson College is an affordable option. We are a public community college, so we have a lower cost of tuition because we have varied funding sources. And this is a great asset to our students because they don't have to come out of college having the same debt load that other colleges might force on their students. So when they actually go out and start earning in the real world, in the workforce, they don't have all that loans and payback that they would have to from other schools.
And speaking of that, this is a 2-year program, correct?
It's absolutely a 2-year program. It's 5 semesters long. They do go during the summer, but obviously they're less of a workload during the summer.
And for that, I'm assuming this is not the type of program, we've talked about part-time versus full-time. It's not the instance where someone can just walk off the street and start. What are some of the prerequisites and particularly the requirements to enter into the respiratory therapy program?
Well, as a professional in the medical field, we are more heavy into the science, the mathematics of it. We would require them to have such things as microbiology, medical terminology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, which also has a prereq of chemistry attached to that as well. So there's a few prereqs. They can visit our website at jeffco.edu and follow the career and technical education link to the respiratory therapy program, and all of our courses are listed on there and the prereqs as well. Or they can call the health occupation secretary and she can give them information, or they can call me directly.
Well, for a final thought this afternoon, I know you've recently worked with the folks here at JCTV to put together a promotional video that talks a little bit more about what it's like to work in the field of respiratory therapy. Let's take a look.
All right, thanks.
Today I helped someone live and breathe a little easier.
Today I'm part of a respected team.
Today I helped a patient conquer a chronic illness.
Today I helped someone overcome their biggest challenge.
Today I helped save one tiny life.
What have you done in your job today? Respiratory therapists make lives better one breath at a time. Contact Jefferson College today. Our healthcare career options will help you discover your future.
Norma, I really appreciate your time this afternoon. Some great information about the college's new program, and look forward to seeing it take off here in early 2012. Thanks for the visit.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I will discover my future by exceeding my academic expectations.
By being the best student I can be.
I will discover my future by knowing learning is just the beginning.
And the pursuit of knowledge lasts a lifetime.
I will discover my future by being the first in my family to go to college.
By trying new things.
By living my dreams.
I will discover my future at Jefferson College.
And welcome back to Jefferson College Today and the Jefferson College Spotlight. As we've been doing over the last several weeks, we've been highlighting some of the college's popular programs. And today it's my pleasure to have two instructors from the college's well-known and well-respected criminal justice program. My guests today include Jefferson County Prosecuting Attorney Forrest Wege, as well as Sergeant Bill Stewart from the Festus Police Department. Gentlemen, welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, as we look, and as I mentioned, the fact that the college's criminal justice program is very well known throughout the area. Tell us a little bit about what kinds of degree options exist for a person who's interested in this field. Forrest?
The college offers an associate degree in criminal justice. There are a variety of classes that are offered within that program: criminal law, juvenile justice systems, investigations, evidence, ethics, corrections, terrorism. And so the college has put together a curriculum, a nice general curriculum that would enable a student to learn a lot of the general concepts within criminal justice and then enable them to look at other options they might have.
Yes, some very broad themes there that you
Yes.
mentioned. So a real good, well-rounded education
Absolutely.
is part of that program. And Bill, of course, you represent the Festus Police Department. Does an individual who comes into the criminal justice program need to necessarily have prior law enforcement background or experience in order to enroll or to be successful in the program?
No, not at all. And that's what we look forward to, that interest in the program. We don't necessarily, we'll give you what you need, more or less, to be successful and give you a good foundation. Whatever your interest may lie in, whether it's in a laboratory somewhere on the forensic side or it's in investigations, whatever it is, we just look for that interest. No technical skills, no background at all, just the interest.
Great. And Forrest, you mentioned that wide variety of subjects that individuals learn in the program. Bill, what kinds of skills do students take away? I'm sure it's more than just theoretical knowledge, probably a lot of practical application as well.
There are a lot of practical applications. We hold practical demonstrations and applications in our classrooms because, and I think this is a great advantage that Jefferson has, is the adjunct for sure, and even Mark Byington, are all still working professionals in their respective fields. So you're not getting information that is decades old or years old. You're getting information that's firsthand. And what it is I may work a shift and then go to class and teach class the next day. So you're getting that practical knowledge as well as just theory. You're seeing it applied, and the same for the other instructors.
And you really can't get any more relevant than that.
No.
I mean, it's not the person who wrote the textbook, it's the guy who's on the street living it every single day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Forrest, with that, as we look at students today, so many students are on the go and have different kinds of schedules, whether it be work, whether it be family. How is the curriculum established in terms of it being either all lecture, or are there other opportunities for students to study beyond just a traditional classroom?
Basically, the college offers three different types of approaches to classes. We have the traditional lecture style. We have what are called hybrids, which are half lecture style, half online, and then there are also fully online classes. Again, this accommodates the different types of students that we have. I teach evening classes, and so I have more of a non-traditional student sometimes in my class that works all day and then is able to take classes in the evening. Certainly you have students that come straight out of high school that are looking to further their studies as well. And so students really have a lot of options when they're looking at this program and making decisions about enrolling.
Yeah. It's no secret of the times we live in terms of the economic hardship that we all face. And I think particularly for new students, it is so top of mind for them comparing the cost of education. What do I get in place A versus what is I pay for place B? When we look at the criminal justice program at Jefferson, how does it compare? And I know there are many across the St. Louis area. How does it stand up in terms of costs that people pay in an affordable sense?
I think first you have to look at the fact that Jefferson College is an accredited criminal justice program. That's a very important thing to consider when you're looking at programs. With regards to cost, I think that Jefferson College is very comparable to other community college settings, and so I think it's very reasonable when you look at it from that perspective. But again, I think it's very important to look at the accreditation.
Great. Bill, for you, as many folks well know, that the college has a law enforcement academy. Yes. How does this program, one from the outside might be a little confused, criminal justice, law enforcement, how do those two kind of work together or fit together in terms of someone's academic goals and career goals?
Well, I think that on the academic side, you have a good understanding, a good basis. You know, you take things like criminal law, you take a lot of theory as well as a practical application. But the main thing is they can get started right out of high school, okay? But in the state of Missouri, being 21 to be a police officer, so you have this 2 and 3 year gap, whichever it may be, in which they can go to college, feed that desire for more knowledge for the criminal justice education and career and get started. We build that foundation for them. They can move right into the law enforcement academy, and they're just rolling right along, and we're preparing them for what they're going to get in the academy.
Great. We mentioned earlier the fact that this is a program where not just some, all, literally all of the instructors in criminal justice are coming at it from having real meaning other full-time jobs, and that gives you a leg up in terms of teaching things that doesn't come from a textbook. Talk a little bit about it, both of you, if you will, in terms of the courses that you teach and how you use the skills that you do from your full-time regular job, incorporating that into what you teach our students.
For example, I teach criminal law, and criminal law is an elements-based class. If you have certain elements, you have a certain crime. So, for example, an assault, we teach what the elements are. If you change a fact, that may or may not be an assault. Being able to turn on the experience and the hundreds and hundreds of cases I've seen in my career, we're able to discuss why that fact change makes a difference and whether you prosecute, don't prosecute, is it justified, not justified, etc. I believe, and again, if you look at all of the adjunct instructors in our department, we all have decades of experience in doing what we are talking about, and I believe that's just invaluable.
Great. And Bill?
For me, I teach an introduction to criminal justice in the fall and then also a leadership class in the spring. And for the intro class, the idea is just to give that general overview of criminal justice, more or less to get them hooked and to spur them along that they made the right decision, to show them everything there from probation and parole to juvenile. I've been fortunate enough in my career to gain a lot of experience in narcotics and in the Detective Bureau and on SWAT and do a lot of different things that, like you said, it's real time and it's coming from me, someone who's been there. And the same with leadership. I've been in management now for 9 years at the police department, so I can talk about leadership and they really can understand what I'm saying. It makes sense to them. Again, not out of a textbook, not someone on the television, someone that can answer questions. Well, what do you do when you have an employee, you know, that isn't motivated? We can answer those questions, and it speaks, you know, the same for all the adjunct.
As you look at new students coming into the program, if you could be an artist, so to speak, and paint a picture, what are some key characteristics that a student brings to the table, a prospective student, I guess I should say, that would tell you some key traits that would tell you this is somebody that's going to be an excellent person in our field? What kind of traits would that be in terms of saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this?
From my perspective, and I deal with lots of people in law enforcement, I deal with a lot of probation officers, we deal with social workers, and so I look at students, and one of the first things I do is ask them, you know, why are you here and where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Sure.
So I have an understanding of what their perspective is. Some of them hope to go to law school, some of them want to be law enforcement officers, some of them want to get involved in the juvenile arena. And so I understand that they are going to look at things from that perspective, and it's important to build on that perspective. I think a lot of students maybe change their mind. They come in with preconceived notions based on what television shows us, a lot of which is fiction in reality. We call it the CSI syndrome when it comes to trying cases. And again, juries are wondering why we don't have lasers and all these fancy things that we see, and that is not the case. So part of it is, I think, dispelling that misunderstanding that they may have when they come in. And so again, it's important. I try and look at every student as an individual and try and cater to their potential.
One of the strengths, I think, of the college's program is the fact that it works with an advisory board, of which you two obviously are members. How does the interaction in terms of professionals all throughout our area work to make Jefferson's program in criminal justice even stronger?
I think for us, it's a matter of getting together as professionals from different aspects of the field of criminal justice as a whole. And we give input as far as what we'd like to see, what technology we'd like to see. And we talk about textbooks, and we talk about different teaching advantages, different teaching goals, and how a hybrid, you know, you can reach other students out there on the online community that normally either can't make it to class because of their schedule, or they just prefer to do some of their studies online. And we talk about developing those programs as a hybrid and the online portion. And also, you know, it helps because Forrest and I may be in a meeting Tuesday concerning a case with Dave Marshak. And we all may be sitting down and trying to convince, you know, what our side is on this. And then we turn around and we're in this advisory committee together. So it helps that we all work together. And then, you know, Mark Byington sort of sets this goal, and he talks about where he wants the program to go, and we give our input, and we agree, or, you know, we give our input as far as what direction we think.
Yeah, great. What is it like for you to be faculty members and to see students come through our program and then get jobs in our own community and become, not necessarily shoulder to shoulder, but certainly professionals in which you've had a chance to groom them and mentor them? What's that like for you?
I mean, that's one of the main reasons I do this. I'm in my 5th year teaching, and so I have seen a number of students come and move on. You know, I think that all of us would agree we teach the importance of being prepared, honesty, the things that are important no matter what sector of criminal justice you go into. And so to see that finished product is really the reward in this for me personally.
Bill, thoughts?
The same. You know, I'm raised in the Festus area, you know, raised in Jefferson County. So the future of my profession, as well as the future of criminal justice in our area, means a lot to me. And to see these applicants come out, and they may try 2 or 3 times, just like I did, before they get employment somewhere, and they get developed, and then be able to watch them grow, no matter if they're probation, parole, or juvenile, run into them on a professional level, you know, and congratulate them on what they've done. And the same for Forrest. You know, it's a sense of pride for us, and we want to develop and mentor those young people and non-traditional students as well.
Not just young, absolutely.
Absolutely, and if they come in, you know, that's great for us because we've already got that bond with them. We already know a lot of what they're about. They know what we're about, so it really strengthens, I think, the relationship in our county.
Yeah. As you build on that, watching people grow, investing, if you will, in their lives and their professional careers. In your opinion, respectively, what makes Jefferson College's criminal justice program the premier program of its kind in our region?
I think from my standpoint, and as a Jefferson graduate, number one, and seeing, you know, coming back after so long and coming back and being able to have a hand in that, one of the things, and we've touched on it, is the real time, the real life experience that you get from our adjunct, for sure. I think it's Mark Byington speaking nationally and doing a lot of the projects he's been involved in and having that day-to-day influence over the students. When you compare us to other professional type institutions that people can go get these degrees or certifications from, you know, I think we're a great choice because we're not as expensive as some of those places.
And some are very expensive.
Exactly.
Incredibly. And they're in Jefferson County.
Right. And the thing that Jefferson has done is also form these relationships with four-year universities and you know, form these bonds in which people can come in and get a degree and easily take a career path, and I don't know that you get that someplace else.
Forrest, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I think that the opportunities that are out there when you graduate from Jefferson College are tremendous. Like you say, the relationships that have been forged with a couple of universities. One of the things I think makes our program unique is that a number of our students come out of the classroom within the criminal justice curriculum and come work in our offices. They intern.
Great.
And so they're able to see what we do on a daily basis. They'll spend a number of weeks in our victim services office. Then they'll go to the Festus Police Department and spend a number of weeks over there. And so, again, not only are they learning the theory and the thought process that comes with what we're teaching, they're seeing the real life experience
so very practical.
as well.
Again, nothing
no question.
textbook, but truly things that you will use and draw upon in a
Absolutely.
real world example.
Right.
Yeah. Our time's just about up today. You guys have done great. I appreciate that. For the person who's watching today, and we've whet their appetite, if you will, Bill, how does a student get more information, or prospective student, that is, more information about this great criminal justice program?
Jefferson College is very open. You have all these adjuncts that are out there working, so anybody that's close to us or knows us, obviously we're an advocate of Jefferson, so you're going to hear a very positive note on things. The other thing is the website.
Great.
The college website.
That's www.jeffco.edu.
And there are several phone numbers in which you can call and get assistance, either in the criminal justice from Mr. Byington or the academy, or whatever it may be that we've gotten to you today on.
In fact, I had a chance before we came on the air today to go to the website, and one of the things that was there was this nice brochure about the criminal justice program. Covers many of the topics that we've spoken about today in terms of degree possibilities. Here's a degree plan that was included in that, and again, all that was online at jeffco.edu. Well, gentlemen, it's been my pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate that. Some great information. And there you have it. Again, not only is this a program at Jefferson College taught by those who are in the field, but that's taught by those that live and work right here in our community, and they do it with the expertise and the affordability like none other in the St. Louis region. If you'd like more information about the criminal justice program here at Jefferson College, you can go online, www.jeffco.edu. You can also stop by here at the Hillsborough campus where the program is headquartered. And you can also give Jefferson a call at area code 636-481-3000. Well, thanks for watching. This has been Jefferson College Today. Have a great rest of the week.